Welcome to this Pathfinder 2nd edition build guide. I'm Frost, and I will be showing you the Centaur Demigod, a ranged build that does a little of everything: tanking, healing, debuffing, DPS, you name it. So let's get to the build. Let's go back here to level 1. We start with Centaur, but you don't need it to be a Centaur, it's just more efficient. But you can grab anything else and just get the general feats, adopted ancestry, and grab the practiced brow from the Centaur. That is one of the main feats of the build that you will be using when enemies get close to you, although it only really starts working at level 4. What it does is, if you shove, success becomes critical success, so it's really good, especially with the feat that you will be getting on level 4. But let's go with the Centaur here. Centaur, between Centaur for more speed. You are getting at 35 right now. Although here, since I put heavy armor, it's on 30. But I will leave it here because level 2 you get heavy armor and you will be changing to it. Although Exemplar only starts with medium armor. And that's why the AC is also wrong. It should be at 18 with heavy armor, but you don't have proficiency yet. So it's 16, but it would actually be 17 with medium. So feats. Class feat, just energized spark. You get fire, so you can use, instead of spirit damage to your attacks, you can use fire. And there's a lot of enemies vulnerable to fire, and you can change at will. So if the enemy is resistant to fire, use the spirit. If it's vulnerable to fire, use fire. For the icons, we are going with Shadow Shelf, Star Shot, and Scar of the Survivor. Shadow Shelf is your main icon. It will let you throw javelins and have infinite amount of them to throw. Then that is simply amazing. Each of your javelins will be doing 1d8 plus 5 at this level, or 1d8 plus 6 if the target's off guard. And the Transcendence makes the target off guard. The Transcendence works in a way that if you miss your attack, you can attack again at the same attack bonus, but the target will be off guard against your attack. So it's a great Transcendence. Just not the most reliable to trigger. If you hit all your attacks, you can't use your Transcendence. But that's also not a bad thing to hitting all your attacks. The Star Shots. Star Shots basically a small AoE attack. You will use your normal damage, although it will be a little less since it's only +1 per dice, so 1d8 plus 4 at this level, but in a 5 feet burst. So you can hit up to 4 targets. If you are lucky, most of the time you'll be hitting 2 or just 1, and you'll be using it to switch back to Shadow Shelf. The advantage is it's a reflection DC instead of an attack. So you can use basically 2 attacks at maximum bonus. Scar of the Survivor is your healing icon. If you are low health, just when you switch, go to Scar of the Survivor, use it in the next turn, you use the ability to go back to Shadow Shelf, and you'll be healing. On this level, just 1d8, but it will scale. Level 2. Now AC is working. AC 20. The attack will still be the same. We will get Hood of the Horizon, so our javelins are now 40 feet instead of 30. The first range increment. Guardian Dedication, we get heavy armor, we get Taunt. Taunt is great for this build, because if the opponent doesn't attack you, he is flat-footed, and flat-footed takes more damage from you. Not just for your attack hitting more, but more actual damage. If I change here, icon to icon of guard, it's 3 per dice. Okay, I forgot to tell. The normal damage of the javelin is 1d6, but thanks to humble strikes, all simple weapons get 1 dice damage upgrade, so from 1d6 to 1d8. That's why it's 1d8 damage, which is really good for a ranged weapon that applies your full strength to it. I also didn't tell about the stats, ability scores. In this case, I am using flaws, so that's why I'm using this. A flaw on wisdom and charisma, because you need a lot of stats for this build. You need dexterity, it's your main stat, you need it maxed. The second one is strength. You will need to start with +3 because it's applying to all your damage. But you also need to start with +1 in int, and you also need constitution to survive. This +1 in int because you will get commander archetype later, and you need +2 int to grab it. You will get +2 at level 5, and you will grab it at level 8. Okay, let's keep going. Level 3, if you are not a centaur, at this level you will grab the tax feat in a way to be able to grab your centaur feat. But since we are centaur, just toughness for more health. Level 4. It's 2 dice now, so let's change it here. Striking icon. I have to make custom buffs for it here. So 2d8 +7, quite an upgrade in damage, or it's 2d8 +9 if the target's off guard. It's Vow of Mortal Defiance. If you can use it, it's a 1 action plus 1d6 damage for the rest of the fight against the target. It's not bad, but it only works if the target is holy or unholy. Yeah, grabbing the basic defender and punishing shove. So another part of our build starts working. With punishing shove at this level, we have expert on athletics, and this is one of the few builds that I will grab athletics at 7 instead of acrobatics, because athletics is really good because of punishing shove. As you can see here, you do your strength modifier, since you are expert, +2 or 6 damage if you successfully shove a target. But since we grabbed the centaur feat, a successful shove is a critical success, so double that damage. You are doing 12 damage instantly to the target with a shove if you hit the shove. So the part of this build, and it's upgrading later. So when you become master, it goes to 6 here with 4 strength, 10 or 20. It's a lot of damage from just shoving the target, and there is no test. Just you shove it, it takes the damage. And since it's a critical success, you are throwing them 10 feet instead of just 5. Okay, what else here? I think at this level is this, and we are going to level 5. But explaining what we'll be doing at this level, basically you are throwing your javelins. If the enemy gets close to you, you shove him and throw more javelins on him. And then that's it for the build. Another enemy come close, you shove and throw more javelins. You can also use your third action to raise a shield. You will be using a shield, I forgot to mention, but it's just a normal steel shield. You can also go for a fortress shield, or even more AC, but it will reduce your movement speed. I don't think it's really needed for this build, because you will stay in the back line taunting enemies to come to you, but if they come, they usually will take a few reactive strikes getting to you, and then you just shove them. So you won't be attacked that much. Let's go for level 5. Yeah, saving the build again. As I change things. I'm just changing the level here, so it doesn't change anything on this side. That's the important one. So ability boosts, we are getting on the 4 stats I say: strength, dexterity, constitution, and int. Your wisdom is suffering, but it's a price we have to pay. Ancestral feat is not important at this level. You only really want 1 feat from the centaurs. So let's keep going. Level 6. At level 6, we are getting 2 feats from Guardian. We are not getting a feat from Exemplar. We are just using the free archetype and our class feat to get another archetype feat, because we want reactive shield and taunting strike. And with this, our build is practically completed in its... It will get a few upgrades later, but the base is complete. You can use your reactions to raise your shield, so we don't need to waste actions on it. And all your strikes can be taunting strikes. So you will be taunting just by attacking. And taunting strike can be used with ranged weapons. You just need to make a strike. And even if you miss, you taunted the target. So you will be taunting the enemies. If they come to attack you, you just shove them back. If they don't and attack your allies, they will be flat-footed against you. And they will be hitting your allies with -1 to attack. Ah, I completely forgot. Level 3. I skipped level 3. Just talked about the toughness, but put Epitaph. You are grabbing the Radiant, which means you are now a pseudo-healer. Every time you spark Transcendence, you can heal an ally by 2 times your level plus 2. You can heal them only once every 10 minutes, but that's a lot of healing, and you can do it even off combat. So there's no need for someone to grab medicine. You can just... Combat's over, spend a few minutes healing your allies. Or depending on how hurt they are, half an hour maybe you heal them all. Means there is a 10 minutes cooldown to healing each one of them. Okay, let's keep going. 6, already talked about everything here. 7, let's not forget it this time. Dominion Epitaph. You are getting Relentless as the Tide. So every time you spark Transcendence, you can either step for free, or... are you reading the rain here? Started to rain really hard. Don't know if to show in the video, but you already know what's the noise. The other option for Relentless as the Tide is you move the target. So if you attack it with a Spark Transcendence that does damage, you can try to move the target, because it can make a Fortitude DC. If it passes, it doesn't move. If it doesn't pass, you can move it 5 feet in any direction. Remember, it's forced movement, so it doesn't proc reactive strikes. Okay, level 8. We are grabbing, as I said, Commander Dedication. And you will ask, we don't have free actions to keep using tactics. Why we are grabbing Commander? Well, because Plant Banner. You are now even more of a healer. Plant Banner is not a great fit for commanders, but as an archetype fit, it is amazing. At this level, it gives 12 temporary hit points to all your allies in, I think, 40 feet of your banner. You have to plant it on the ground, usually behind you. So it's a bit safer, because the enemies can go to your banner and steal it to stop the effects. But there is no downside other than stopping the effect, since your banner doesn't give the status bonus to against fear, so it won't frighten your allies when it gets stolen or destroyed. So it's just you plant it, 3 temporary hit points for everyone. If the enemy wastes actions trying to get rid of it, he's wasting actions at least, and you can kill it and grab it back. No problems. Okay, nothing really important on this side. Let's go here, level 8, and it's actually for the prepared tactics, but let's leave it. You can prepare any tactic you want, but Gather to Me is my recommendation. You don't need your banner to use it, and you give movement to all your allies. They just have to waste their reaction on it, but if they don't have other reactions to use, it's good. And you can you also be targeting yourself, since you are one of the squad mates. So you will use one action to move and give the option for allies to move too. So it's a better movement, basically, a better stride. So it's actually a good one. But let's add a rune, and it won't be a flaming rune this time, because you can already turn your weapons to flaming. So which rune we will grab? Just a thundering. Not many enemies that resist sonic damage, so it's a good one. And your damage is just improving. 2d8 plus 10 plus 1d6. Not a bad damage. 22.5 or 24.5 if the enemy is off guard, which will happen a lot of times because of the taunting and your transcendence from the shadow shelf. So let's keep going. Important at 7, I forgot to tell. Your shove is stronger. Also, I told it when I was explaining the shove, but your shove does automatically 20 damage, so almost the same as your strike at level 7. So it's a great shove. At 9, you will finally get your master on acrobatics to grab at 10 the keep up. A really good feat. I always grab it. But let's go for the level 10 feats. Level 10, it's another amazing level. We get Mated Birds in Pirate Flight, which is a very good feat. You will use it with your Shadow Shelf, and you basically get 2 attacks, considering the target flat-footed against both of them, and they use your maximum accuracy. So it is really an amazing feat. The only downside is you can't use Taunting Strike with it, but you can just use a third strike to use Taunting Strike. Even if it doesn't have a very high hit chance, you at least taunt the target, and your 2 first strikes will be really powerful. And it also gives you a way to force your Shadow Shelf to switch to another, because Shadow Shelf, if you hit all your strikes, you hit your 2 first strikes, you can't activate it. Okay, let's keep going. And also at level 10, level 12 now. And let's give you another rune. You cannot select another tactic here, because I got Tactical Excellence. But let's first get here runes. And this time we are grabbing Shock. Level 12 we are getting Flow of War. It's a free haste action. Even if it's just once a day, I think. No, once per hour. So you may be able to use it more than once each day. And you can use it only for strike or stride. So you can't use it for taunting strike, for example. It's just normal strike or stride. Mostly you use it for stride, if you need to move. Tactical Excellence, just grabbing Passing the Lines and Shoots Up, another 2. And probably choose Passing the Lines. It's good to just switch positions between your allies. So it's useful. And as always, don't need your banner, because you have planted your banner. And so you can't use tactics with Brandish. Okay, feet, just Incredible Sprint or more movement speed for the Centaur. Nothing big. And level 14. And the thing is, we now need to activate both of those. Because we have 3 dice now. And I just saw that I didn't get enough custom buffs to give the 4 dice bonus, but that's okay. I can put it here. But your damage is getting bigger. 3d8 plus 13 plus 2d6. That is, let's see, 20, 29, 33.4 per 0.5. And if the target's off guard, 36.5 with each ranged strike, and you are getting 2 at maximum accuracy. So your damage is good. And you even have AoE if you need. And you just got another AoE, Infinite Blade Celestial Arrow. It's basically a cone with your first increment, so 40 feet, and you can hit all enemies in that cone. If there is allies, you don't hit your allies, only the enemies. So if you get 3 or more enemies to hit with it, it's a good thing to use. Even if it's 3 actions, that is the downside. You are using all your 3 actions to use it. And the strikes have a -2 to attack, but hit all targets. You can hit 5 targets and all the enemies if positioned correctly. And you can use your hasted action to move to get in position to use it better. So it's a good one. We won't use it always, but it can shine. We are getting another tactical expertise for more actions, and we can grab another one here. This one can be good. It lets one of your allies consume something as a free action. Actually, you toss as a free action someone, so toss a potion, and the one that receives the potion uses its reaction to drink it. So it's a good one. The other is for helping casters. It's a 2 action, so hard to use. But if you use, you can target, you can target yourself, move up to a target, try to trip the target, and you will be investing heavily on athletics. If you manage to trip it, another ally can throw a ranged spell against it with 2 or fewer actions. So it can throw a full spell. It's really powerful, but it depends on the trip, if you manage to succeed on it or not. But it's a good one. Let's select this one. Okay, let's go. 15, it's an important one. If a user don't stop at odd levels, but select Epitaph Healer of the World. You are getting another healing. So you now have 3 sources of healing. You have your basic Epitaph healing. That's 2 times your level plus 2. At this level, 32 healing to each of your allies once every 10 minutes. And now you have this one. You can get your allies out of the ground. If they are unconscious, they gain temporary hit points and get up. And you can do it to all your allies. If something, an AoE or something got all your allies to the ground, you can rise them all up with just Transcendence as a free action. So it's really good one. And another thing is, even if they are not dying, actually, I spoke wrong. And I'm reading it right now again. They just only get the 10 temporary hit points if they are not dying. If they were dying, they are just lose the dying condition, and you just stabilize. You stabilize all your allies that are on the ground, and the ones that are up gain 10 temporary hit points. But the best part about this one is there is no cooldown. So every time you transcend this, you can give those temporary hit points. Although this one has one problem. Temporary hit points don't stack. And you have your banner. So you only be using this to stabilize allies or if someone stole your banner. Because at this level, your banner is healing for 16 temporary hit points. So the banner is better than Healer of the World. Okay, let's keep going. Actually, another thing on this level. You get Legendary on Athletics. As you can see, plus 30. And with Legendary on Athletics, and your Strength is at plus 5, which means 34 damage with a shove. You shove the target and they automatically take 34 damage. It's a really good shove. Okay, let's go for level 16. Level 16, Crowd of Who. You can now do damage with your Scar instead of healing. With your Scar icon. And it's a good damage with a great effect. If the opponent fail on the DC, it gets prone. And the area is 10 feet bursts. 10 feet bursts. Let me confirm the distance. Now 15 foot bursts at 60 feet range. And it's a will DC, so really good. 2 actions. And dropping prone is making a lot of targets dropping prone. It's amazing. If you can hit at least 2 targets, this is a good one to use. So we don't need to. If you want damage, you change to Star Shoot. But if you don't want damage or don't have 2 targets really close together to use Star Shoot, you can switch to the Scar and use this one on the next round and just switch back to your shelf. Advanced Defender group taunt. It's useful to taunt more than 1 target at once. And let's keep going. 18. You are grabbing a really cool feat, but you won't find many uses of it. Because there is a glaring weakness on Sunwrecker. It's amazing. You cut the sun. You get a 120 feet area with darkness, level 9 darkness. And you can see in this darkness. But your allies can't. Nor can the enemies, at least most of them, those that don't have greater dark vision. But if your allies can't see, it's a bit hard to use when you are with your group. If you're alone, it's amazing. And if there are ranged enemies away from your group, you can use on top of them and they won't be able to see anything. Then they will have to move a lot to get out of it. So it has its use, but not as much as you would think. As Asha-type feat, just reflexive shield. So if you're raised shield, it also applies to your reflex. And level 20. I actually forgot to add the rune. Just any damage rune will work. Ones that you don't have already. You already have Flaming Frost options of damage. So let's grab Corrosive. And at level 20, Hitch for Immortality. This feat is just amazing. It's more to your I am a demigod. You simply, if you are going to die or you're just unconscious, you rise up, lose all your status debuffs, so you're no longer dying or wounded or anything, go back to half your health and just restart the fight. You get up also for free, so you have keep up, so that doesn't change much. You can switch your icon to switch your spark to any icon you want when you do that. and it's a free action you can trigger anytime you want. So as soon as you get ends an enemy drops you to the ground, you can use it, or you can wait if you want, but you can only use it once a day. So that's the limitation. But even then, it's amazing. It's not even a reaction; it's a free action. And the archetype fit shows Tough Cookie. You get half your health as temporary hit points for 2 actions. It's a good one. And that's it for the build. I hope you all enjoyed. Look here at the damage that it's wrong. It should have 4 more. So let's add it. Actually, damage bonus 4. Spirit. Add. Accept. And that is the damage at this level. We are going for 4d8, which is 18, plus 3d6 with 10.5. So we are talking about 28.5, plus 10, 38.5, plus 11, 49.5. And if the target is flat-footed, which is very easy to get with all that we talked about until now, it takes plus 4. So that's a lot of damage. For ranged strikes, and with the parried flight, you can use 2 at maximum accuracy. With Starshot, you can hit them against reflex, and then use a normal with maximum accuracy. So you deal a lot of damage, you deal a lot of healing, and temporary hit points for your allies, and with the taunts, you debuff your enemies. So this build does a lot. And it does a lot very well. So that is the Centaur Demigod for you. And I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the rain, but can't do anything about it. And that's it. I will see you on the next one.